Hi, we are live. I hope everything is working. I am running late today. I stayed in bed way too long, and yeah, I got back from a walk, and now I'm very tired, and I'm going to try to finish this game, because I don't like projects hanging over my head longer than they have to. And this should only take one more stream, thankfully, so, might as well hop over here, I suppose. But hi, welcome. Today is the 16th of October. We're gonna hopefully finish up Sonic, or Shadow the Hedgehog, and we'll have plenty of time in terms of like my plan of trying to finish the game before Sonic X Shadow Generations comes out. So that's next week, I think. I'm probably not gonna play the game day one, just because I haven't even bought the game, for one thing, and two, it's like really close up to like two of my most anticipated games right now, with Mario and Luigi on one hand, and maybe Mario Party on the other. I'm a little bit torn on that, to be honest. I need to ask around to see if like anyone I know is like super jazzed for Mario Party, because I'll basically determine if I want to play it or not, because obviously Mario Party, not that I have played a lot of Mario Parties with people in general, but I do feel like it would be fun to be able to play this game with people, and I've actually never done that, even though I own like Superstar, and I also have all the NSO ones, because I do have the expansion pass for the sake of streaming, because I do want to stream a couple of like the Game Boy Advance games. Like, I might start Mario and Luigi next week. I probably won't read the dialogue, which has been kind of my style so far, just because I don't want to mess up my voice too much. But that shouldn't take very long. Mario and Luigi's not that long of an RPG. It's like, for me at least, it's like 8 to 10 hours, give or take. So maybe we'll go through that with Brothership coming out before too long. Though to be fair, I really don't have much in terms of streaming plans at this point. I'm very happy I got through the Guilty Gear retrospective, at least what I wanted to do with it, with time to spare. Though apparently next week there's going to be some kind of promo event, Paris Games Week, where there's going to be a panel for Season 4. I don't know if I'll do like a reaction to it, or like if they post like Dizzy gameplay separately. Like, if that's I'm assuming that's where we'll get the full trailer, but I might react to that and maybe play Strive or something. Again, I think the servers are just having issues on Monday, unfortunately. Just my luck, basically. But also, my brain is shutting down because I did not get enough sleep. I have not been sleeping well. Sorry in my life, though, that's not anything new. But I've been staying up too late, and then like trying to get out of bed is difficult because I am a very what's the word I'm looking for? I make very good life choices, basically. So yeah, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Just wanted to chat for a little while because I'm not looking forward to this, if I'm being honest. We have what is widely considered to be the worst level in the game today. All we have left is the True Hero Path and the last story. So, in theory, that should only take like an hour and a half. If we have time, we'll like toss in Ring Racers if I'm feeling up for it. But there's a chance that one stage in particular might take like half an hour or so. So be ready for that possibility. I also have a surprise once we got through the True Hero story. I actually went and got all the cutscene footage, and I'll be showing that to show the other endings that we didn't actually see in this playthrough. Alright, let's jump over here. I realized the music is on a separate app, so it didn't actually stop playing. That's on me. Again, I'm still getting used to this. It's only been a month. Still, like, impressive in my opinion how much I've managed to accomplish in a month. Though, again, that's all thanks to all my friends who continue to be very supportive of my endeavors. Also, a few things I should mention. I think I have commands set up, so you should be able to... I should check that actually. One moment. I want to see if commands actually work, because then if they don't work, then that might be a problem. But I do think I have commands set up, so testing this out just on the fly because I'm procrastinating playing this game. So yeah, we have a link tree that's all my socials and such. There's like YouTube for the main channel, which is like condensed live stream portions so far. I might do more adventurous content later on, but just kind of winging it for now. Got a VOD channel, which is like streams, so I do shorten the beginning part to when I'm talking. What else? Got alert command, though I definitely feel like I need to add more commands. And there's one command I've been putting off, but I do have one that's like, it's like, I've heard people say like Ko-Fi or Kofi, and I've also heard some people say coffee, which I'm not sure which it's supposed to be, and I'm afraid to put that link because I don't want anyone to feel pressured to like support financially, basically. So yeah, hi, welcome. Today we are hopefully finishing Shadow the Hedgehog, assuming the game doesn't decide to be a pain in the butt, which it might be. But as usual, we have actually I've gone through a few of the stages on my own time, since we already saw Westopolis, and we have definitely seen, we've definitely seen Westopolis enough, and we also went through Lethal Highway the previous time for the hero path, so it'd be the same thing again. So I did go through those on my own time, meaning we are actually starting from everyone's favorite cutscene. I'm actually gonna let it play just because it's iconic.
Claims to have knowledge of my past.
Hi, Nicole.
He claims that I had promised to deliver the 7 Chaos Emeralds to him. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's the only one I can trust for clues about my past. Sonic and I were able to destroy the alien's attack craft. Having cornered Black Doom, he summoned an enormous flying monster. Sonic and I finished it off, and I got the 3rd Chaos Emerald. Where did you go, Black Doom? I won't let you get away. Where's that damn 4th Chaos Emerald? Isn't that Tails?
Look at that! It's Eggman's theme park. He made it out of the rings he's taken from around the world. I've got to get those rings back.
A Chaos Emerald. This is just too easy. Guess it's my lucky day.
I know I've been skipping cutscenes that we've already seen in this playthrough, but come on, we have to let that one play at least. Hi Peachy, welcome to the stream. I do feel like in general, I have definitely warmed up a lot to this game playing through it again. Maybe because I'm like 20 years older and a lot more patient than I was when this game came out. Was it actually 2004 or was it 2005? I can't remember. I want to say 2005, but either way, Sonic Rush I think was like around the same time. I think it might have been the same day actually. I don't know if I've actually talked about this. I think I have, but one cool feature in this game is you can actually play as the other characters as a second player. So if you hook up another controller, you can literally just control, like, the partner character. Obviously, some like Doom's Eye, you can't really move around very much. But yeah, each character does have, like, a moveset. In some cases, they're actually really good, and in some cases better than, like, what you get in Sonic Heroes, weirdly enough. Yeah, this is basically pre-Eggman Land, but less torturous, to be fair. And I say that as someone who swears by Eggman Land as being overhated, actually. I actually really like that stage in Unleashed. I hate how difficult it is at parts. It doesn't work in the PS2 version, that's really weird. But hi AC, welcome. Hope everyone's having an alright day. I also don't think you can play as Eggman, so I think it's Eggman and Doom's Eye that are the exceptions. But beyond that, you can play as most characters, including one we'll be seeing in like 20 minutes from now. That is very fascinating that you're able to play this character. I do like how they have the traditional... Okay, that was almost a disaster. I do like how they have the little circus riff in here, which would actually be the second time in the franchise this has come up. First time being, it's weird saying original, because it's technically not the original, but like, game original, casino, whatever. I don't know what the name of that stage is. Circus music is what the inside of my head sounds like. Yeah, that's honestly a mood, to be honest. Hello, Mario. Welcome. We're just getting started, actually. Going through this stage. Again, I do like the mission structure. Again, it's basically like if every stage has, like, a mandatory chaotix mode, basically, from Sonic Heroes, in a way. So in a way, it's almost kind of like, I don't mind it too much, but I've also warmed up to Heroes a lot. In that case, I actually do have a lot of nostalgia, though, for Heroes. This game I have less nostalgia for, but is one that I have gone back and forth on. I feel like as a kid, I, like, didn't really enjoy it just because the game was so edgy, quote-unquote edgy, but I was also like, how old would I have been? Like 10 at the time? It was like super edgy for me at the time. It's like, relatively speaking, this game was edgy, but it's a very relative term there. Again, I was like raised as a good Christian kid who wouldn't even say damn. Now I say much worse words on a regular basis, so again, I try to keep them off stream for the most part, just because, demonetization, not that I'm monetizing YouTube, but, you know, if I ever get to that point, I probably won't swear a ton just for that reason. It's like a weird situation where, like, my online persona and my actual, like, how I act in real life aren't too different, but I do, like, hold back a little bit when I'm on stream just because things are on permanent record in a way. And again, it's like I could definitely get in trouble if I, like, start swearing a bunch in terms of, like, site rules. Alrighty then, making good time for this stage, I say as we're 5 minutes in, but that is good time for this stage, relatively speaking. That sucks. But again, this game is actually not that mean. You actually keep your rings if you lose them, which is lovely, because what that means is you only have, like, a problem if you end up actually getting hit, like, knocked off the stage, or falling off the stage. Getting hit by regular enemies is not a big deal, which makes the ring collecting not that bad, actually. It makes it relatively, chill, compared to, like, every other game that has, like, a collect rings objective. So yeah, I'm totally okay with this, to be honest. As far as, like, hero missions go, this is not as painful as what we will be seeing in a little bit. I've been really hyping up this mission as painful. I hope I'm not overhyping it, actually. Like, if I get through it, like, miraculously because of how much I've been complaining about it, I'll take it. But the stage is, like, notoriously rude, so I'm not counting my, my eggs before they hatch there. I can't see, so that's great. You can actually go through the flaming rings to get extra rings, but I literally can't see. So that was not doable, unfortunately.
I've never seen a vulcanized ceramic used for this sort of thing before.
So weird hearing Amy Pallant as Tails. It is interesting going back to the older voice cast. Again, I still think I would say Jason Griffith is my favorite Shadow, and maybe my favorite Sonic too. With Roger Craig Smith, I feel like his performances are very like hit or miss, but it's also like voice direction. Like there's no consistent voice for this current version of Sonic, because like, you know, in Frontiers, he basically sounds just like a degree of separation off from like Chris Redfield in terms of like vocal tone, which for Sonic feels a little bit jarring in my opinion. Like for Sonic to have that deep of a voice, like to be totally honest. But again, that's more of a voice direction issue. And again, Jason Griffith also has like really rough performances too. Like I would almost say this is kind of one for Sonic specifically, but especially like by just like Secret Rings onwards, is kind of when he really hits a stride. It was literally a thing where he actually went by a pseudonym in Secret Rings for some reason. I have no clue why, but for the longest time, maybe because I was a kid who did not like Google things very much, but I wasn't even like entirely convinced it was Jason Griffith at first. I almost thought it was someone different because of how like much more range Sonic had in Shadow, or had in Secret Rings, compared to like all of the 4Kids era dubs at that point. Again, I count this as having like the 4Kids direction more so than like the Secret Rings direction. Well, that was like sort of like unfortunate there, but we got it. That was probably a B rank. That was kind of slow, and I don't know why, because normally I get through that a lot faster. I have no clue what the hang-up was. Like, where did I miss rings? I may have missed one of those, like, bells that you have to hit. Like, I didn't have enough speed going into it or something. Oh, that's a C. That's... yeah, not great. Again, normally I finish that stage, like, way faster.
Commander! Comm Sector B3 are reporting that the black aliens have successfully been driven out of Westopolis. We've contained them in the forest, and they're completely cut off from the rest of their support.
Well done, Captain. What about Shadow?
Sir, we think Shadow escaped into the forest with the black aliens.
Alert all field commanders in Sector B. I'm authorizing full use of all tactical weapons. I want both black aliens and Shadow stopped and buried. Failure is not an option.
Yes, sir.
It's over, Shadow. You'll finally be exposed and eradicated for the evil that you are.
I forgot there wasn't a cutscene for this stage. It's also weird to think that the Gun Commander has a name now. That was like a surprise watching the Shadow shorts. It's like, oh yeah, he actually has an actual character name instead of just Gun Commander, which is basically what they call them from like this game onwards, so for the longest time. Alrighty, so we have to fight 50 enemies here, which should be not too bad, hopefully. You're more used to hearing Roger Sonic because you played more games he's in. Yeah, that's also fair. I feel like that's also a recurring issue. It's like the Pokemon syndrome, where it's like people's favorite Pokemon game is almost always the one they play first, which is just why there's always like a generation... What just happened? Just despawned for some reason. But yeah, why there's like a generational shift sometimes between like one game being really popular for and like after a bit, because like the fans of that game who are like kids when they grew up playing it are like older now. Nice to see Rouge with a non-jank model in this game. The weird part is, I got looking at this character model, and it's basically just the Adventure 2 model, but like purple instead of like the black portions of the outfit. Kathleen Delaney, I think, is the voice actress for Rouge. Again, I grew up with like Sonic X though, so that's why I think I have an affinity for a lot of this cast. Some of the voice actors I never was a big fan of, unfortunately. Like, a lot of it does come down to voice direction. So yeah, this game is well made sometimes. If you don't actually grind on this rail at full speed, you will get clipped by that gun beetle every time. I forgot which rail it was, so that's on me. There we go. Yeah, the SA2 Rouge model is pretty alright. Yeah, the other actress is later. That's the, what the current dub is, basically. So yeah, what was I gonna say? Again, Sonic games often have these, like, beginner's trap moments where it's like, how are you supposed to know you're supposed to go full speed on that rail, or else you'll die? Like, there's nothing to indicate that. So you just kind of go in and immediately die, and then it's like, oh, well, I've learned my lesson, but, like, that's really weird game design. I saw a life down here. I'm gonna grab it just because I don't trust the next stage. The next stage is, like, considered the worst in the game, almost universally, I would say. This is a problem. I can't, like, flip over this panel because then I destroy the gun robots and then Rouge will be mad at me. Though more realistically, it will hurt my score more. So I'm trying to be very careful, but again, there's no, like, manual aiming. It's, like, all auto-aim. So it's, like, having to position. It's one robot. Oh, shoot. You know what? Why do I care? I'm not gonna get a good rank on this stage anyway, with how much, like, I keep dying. Yeah, the Arc stage is, like, the worst stage. Yeah, that really shot up the Dark score, actually, which also makes a difference because I keep dying and thus losing all my hero score. Okay, I'm not gonna homing attack these guys. I'm just gonna use the weapons as the game intended, because clearly weapons are a bad choice for certain constrained areas. Yeah, the Arc stages are both kind of confusing, actually. The Dark Path one isn't as bad, I'd say. Okay, that works. I couldn't remember if there's anything in here, so I wanted to double back, and it's a good thing we did, because those enemies... Alright, so far so good. We're missing 15 so far, but we should be on target for everything. Oh, heard an audio cue. Good thing I was, like, not talking in that moment, because we would have had trouble otherwise. So yeah, just proceeding very gingerly through this area, because I don't want to miss anything. Again, the worst part in this game is if you miss something and have to double back, and just scour the entire stage trying to find the one thing you're missing. That also counts for Dark Score for some reason. That kinda sucks, because you automatically have to lose points, basically. We also don't have enough ammo for this, I don't think. Never mind, we definitely do, because we have infinite ammo. Any more? Or are we good to slide down the rest of the way? It looks like we are. I thought this was the end of the stage, which might be a problem, potentially, if we are missing one. Yeah, that's a problem, I think. Unless... I have an idea, I'm gonna go back. Well, that's one way to go back, I suppose.
One more.
This'll just take 3. Get him!
So yeah, this game can be a little bit frustrating. I almost feel like the hero mode is harder than the dark mode, but then Central City also is, like, annoyingly difficult, so... especially the hero stage of Central City is, like, really difficult, actually, because of just trying to find all the bombs and the time limit. Yeah, my theory is the last enemy was one of these worms and it just went underground at the worst possible time. This is a little bit overkill, but I mean, it'll get the job done for sure.
Hang on to the bar and take out
See, like, I could have sworn we were at 44 here last time, which means I probably missed one again. Okay, so the shields just make the rockets go through. That makes sense. So yeah, if we're having this much trouble on this stage, I'm very nervous about the next stage. I had no rings. Shadow with a big gun. Yeah, it's a bazooka in this case. It's very, like, fascinating to see, like, weapons bigger than him, and then they're, like, clipping through the ground and everything.
almost there.
Well, at least... Or maybe I did take morality damage for that one. Morality damage, that's not really, like, the best way to put it, I would say, but...
Destroy them.
Yeah, normally this isn't the stage I have trouble with, so, like, what's gonna happen with the stage I do normally have trouble with at this point?
Make sure you get the ones that really too.
So at least we're on track here.
Hang on to the bar and take out the aliens as you climb down.
But we still have the problem of where's the last one? Because I think this is the final area we need to be in, so I missed one early in the stage. So again, this is why I'm hesitating to say we're doing more games after this, because I had a bad feeling that the game would be like this today. Not saying it's the game's fault they missed an enemy, but just this game is annoying in the regard of just having like a needle in a haystack at a point. Also, hi Finn, welcome to the stream. Alright, so this should take us to the goal ring, I think. But we have to go back. Yeah, this is the fun part of Shadow the Hedgehog. We have to like manually check every point just to make sure, because it could be anywhere. Because I don't have the stage memorized to the point of knowing which areas I'm most likely to have missed something. So we just have to go through the entire stage a second time, essentially. And we've already gone through it multiple times due to dying over and over.
Look out for that plant. It attacks with fire. It's some kind of alien.
Oh, there it is.
That's all of them.
Weird. I thought I got that one. Well, at least it was early in the stage, so I didn't, like, lose too much time, but that still sucks. That's gonna be like a D rank because of dying so close to the end, I'm pretty sure. Now we get, like, the funniest cutscene in the game, but also the worst stage in the game. Okay, that's generous. So, you know, ups and downs coming up here. No, wait, we have a boss first. A weird boss, because we already fight this one in the hero story.
Having a little trouble with those gun agents, are we?
What a pitiful bunch.
What'd you say?
We're not here to exterminate these poor creatures. On the contrary.
What? What is he talking about?
What are you saying?
All will be revealed tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Shadow, you should rest. You need to be ready for tomorrow's ritual.
You scum! You're going down!
Show these fools your true strength.
Oddly enough, I find this easier than the first Black Bull fight because he doesn't move around. So we can just kind of stay in one place and fire.
Climb up that arc. Stand any
That's supposed to be Ivy, apparently. Good to know. I'm just farming weapons at this point, because we need a lot. Yeah, oddly enough, I'm, like, relatively okay with this one for some reason. For whatever reason, I don't actually mind this one. So I just gotta, like, jump off the rail and do this a bunch. There we go. If you try to fight these bosses without weapons, they're, like, miserable, though. And I think that is a fundamental failing of Shadow the Hedgehog in a way that it's not adaptable to other playstyles. If you want to play like a traditional Sonic game, you can defeat the boss without guns. It'll just take forever. They really expect you to use like guns for bosses, and I think they should have been made a little bit more adaptable for other playstyles, personally. But that's just kind of how I like approach game design, like how I envision game design.
What's up, Shadow?
Not you again.
Nice to see you too. Looks like those black creatures are headed out to space. We're on our way to the Ark, so I guess that means we're going too.
Ark.
Come on, let's roll. Next stop, the Ark.
A Chaos Emerald? You've got to be kidding me, guys. This is like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me.
Shadow, help me!
Maria?
Please, Shadow, I need your help. My grandfather's experiments. Something's gone horribly wrong.
What is it?
The research lab, it's going to be destroyed. Something must be done. Please, Shadow, I beg you. Help grandfather and those aboard the Ark. Please!
I'll be there, Maria. I swear. Whatever it takes. I'll take care of the Ark and the Professor.
Reminder, this is the true hero story, where he's like, stealing is a good thing. So I always thought that was an interesting choice to put this in the true hero path, and not like the neutral hero path. So this stage sucks. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. This is like awful. We have this labyrinth of a stage, and we have to find 35 artificial chaos. For this stage alone, I would say Shadow Reloaded is probably a good choice, because one of the things that mod does, from what I gather, is reduce a lot of the requirements for these like defeat enemy stages. So like not having to find all of them would definitely help a lot. I don't know what they changed the requirement to though, in all fairness, so I can't vouch for that much if it actually like makes the stage a lot more doable. But again, it is a good thing to keep in mind that there is a fan fix, essentially, for a lot of the problems. And yeah, supposedly the physics are also tightened up quite a bit, which is a good thing, because this game is notoriously slidey. But I personally haven't played it, because for this playthrough I want the true Shadow the Hedgehog experience, for better or worse. Good song, terrible stage. See, like, for me, I don't even know the song in the stage. Unartificials or chaos. That'd just be releasing a god into the world again. Again, I was gonna say that, and it's like, wait a minute, that already happened. Also, yes, you can play as Maria in this stage if you're the player 2, like, in the player 2 slot. You can straight up play as Maria. Which is, like, the only time I think ever is, like, you ever get to play as, like, probably one of the only times you get to play as a human in this series, actually. Yeah, you're here for, like, half an hour, which means I think I just kind of dissociate after a bit, and thus I don't remember the song, like, at all, because I just tune out the song entirely at a certain point. See, I'm now just thinking of the fandom. I'm trapped in the building again. This is literally that quote personified into a stage, basically. Because it's like, yeah, we're gonna be stuck here for a bit. We got a map here. Are we getting a playable Maria mod for SA2? That's a very good question, actually, and I'm almost surprised that's never happened. It's like, if you can play as, like, Eggman without a mech, I wouldn't be shocked if you could, like, retool that into Maria, just change the hitbox to be closer to another character. You know, if I was smart, I would have looked up a guide to tell me how many artificial chaos I should have going into each area, but I forgot because I was running late. So, and I also make very good life choices. Yeah, give Maria a gun. Why not at this point? Also, speaking of which, we're at 6 now, so I hope that's all of them in the previous area. Also, that gun beetle was in a very bad spot. I do not blame that on myself because it just happened to be standing there, or, well, floating there. So, like, you have these little break areas where there's, like, nothing else around. Yeah, I'm really interested in the Sonic movie, but I'm also, like, not a fan of the movies, to be blunt. And again, it's just a personal preference thing. Yeah, like Maria having to, like, not put up with the gun soldiers shit anymore. She has had it. Alright, you can also speed this up with A, but I don't know if I recommend doing that, especially on the first playthrough. Also, I want to say there's like one behind the platform at some point, but I don't know if I'm just paranoid and misremembering because it's been like a long time. And by a long time, I mean like a month ago, but I also have played a lot of other games since. Alright, so we are a third of the way there. I am not going to hit that checkpoint, actually. I am going to take out the other artificial cats in this area, and then hit the checkpoint. Because I think that would be a lot smarter, and will mean we have to redo... We don't have to redo as much. Again, this is just another example of a stage where it's like, if you don't want to use guns, these are so, like, spongy that they just take forever, and ones like this where you have to, like, climb up the pole every time, that's just kind of miserable, so... Again, flexibility in how you actually deal with combat would be a change I would like to see with a game like this. Not to say that every game needs to have, like, multiple solutions to a problem, but I do feel like it is deliberately designed in such a way that is not, like, playable like a, you know, quote-unquote traditional Sonic game, which is definitely a choice. Alright, we came from the platform. This should probably just take us to a key or something. Nothing pivotal. Or guns, that works too. Why do they have, like, large fans that work to push you onto the platform you're supposed to be standing on? It feels like very, like, specific design. Wait, this is a dead end. I'm free to hit that, I guess. Again, the song is nice, fits the mood very well, and again, I swear by, Shadows having a really, oh god, that's a problem. I'm gonna double back, I think. They probably despawned, though, unfortunately. Yeah, it looks like everything despawned, so I don't know entirely how to proceed here, unless I just go, like, the intended way a little bit and then double back. The other mission kind of sucks, to be honest. The Doom, I think is the name of it, where you basically have to, like, heal a bunch of wounded soldiers, but you have to, like, pick up these capsules and throw them at the wounded soldiers. It's really unwieldy and, like, impractical. Oh wow, the draw distance is so bad, which doesn't help. So we have a very scary triangle jump here.
Damn.
Or Shadow can just plummet, that works too, I suppose. He did not get full distance on that for some reason, he just fell. So yeah, that happens sometimes. Shadow will just kinda not do a horizontal jump, he'll basically go slightly downwards, which just means you die most of the time if it happens at the wrong spot. So what I needed to actually do was wall run to be closer to the edge before actually doing that. But again, it's something that, like, how are you supposed to know about that if you haven't ever played this game before? And also because the triangle jump in Heroes does not work that way, which honestly makes it better in my opinion. So yeah, we're gonna like run, we're not gonna like jump across. Okay, this is just for dynamite, I guess. I suppose you could use the dynamite to get rid of the artificial chaos. I also underestimate how long Shadow can actually stick to the wall because he's designed to wall run in this. That would also have been good to keep in mind, but I forgot. So yeah, we are 6 minutes in, and technically longer because I had a death. Note to self, never follow the path with rings in this stage, because that almost always leads to like secrets or something. Like, the ring path is always like the intended route, pretty much. But also, like, asset reuse is really fascinating in this game, because it basically leads to a situation that kind of feels like zones. What I mean by that is, like, you know, older Sonic games usually have, like, multiple zones, or, like, multiple acts in each zone. And that's kind of like what Shadow does, but the zones are, like, split up between, like, different routes. So, like, instead of having this stage and the Doom as, like, a zone, they're, like, on totally opposite, like, story branches at that. Which gives it a very different, like, feel to it. The only theme that doesn't really have an analogous, like, second stage would probably be the Haunted level and, like, the Circus level. I was like, I know there's another one I'm thinking of, but, like, there's two Comet stages. I guess there's nothing quite like the Gun Fortress, but I guess you could, hypothetically, like, say that Air Fleet kind of works, like gun-themed facility stages. And, like, you have two city stages with Westopolis and Lethal Highway. Yeah, Maria can just teleport back to you if necessary, so maybe she's the most powerful life form. Since I'm just losing my mind in this facility, I guess I should talk about the shorts a little bit. I have seen all three, including the bonus ending on the, like, combined cut of all of them, and overall I really like the Dark Beginnings animations. If I had any complaint about them, it's just, like, I kind of feel like the first one was, like, very emotion heavy, and then the others were very action heavy, in a way that makes sense for, you know, Sonic and everything. But I kind of feel like, in a way, I had wished we had gotten more, like, emotional moments with Shadow and Maria, because that was my favorite part of Episode 1. But also the action is very well animated in the shorts, so, like, this is, like, a very small complaint at that. Yeah, personally, it's, like, the quiet moments were my preferred parts of the shorts, oddly enough. It's almost this case of when you have a franchise, it's, like, all, like, you know, forward momentum and going fast, like, having, like, a quiet moment almost, like, stands out more in a way. Weird thing, these asteroids actually count as dark points, which means you have to get some dark score or just tank a hit. So, yeah, we will be firing at these at the very least to avoid taking damage. We have 11 left. I swear I can do math. Jump scare. That Maria reacts very late too, for some reason. And yeah, this is the one where I'm like, okay, if there's a checkpoint, maybe don't hit it right away. Maybe leave it for later, just because, actually, this is a dead end again, so we're making forward progress. Kinda cute is, like, subjective. I guess they kinda are. I mean, you know, Chaos and Chao are kinda related. Sorta. But in general, I just have so much, like, bad memories of the stage. I kind of resent Artificial Chaos in general, I feel. Again, kid me would spend, like, literally half an hour to 45 minutes on this one stage alone, just because of how maze-like it is. Now, Cassio is cute too. I was gonna say something and I'm like, should I say this? Should I go there? Because it's like, knowing my friends, I'm not entirely sure the answers I'll get if I ask the question I'm thinking about asking. But it's like, I feel like I just randomly had the thought of like a smash or pass, but of the various chaos forms, and it's like, I don't know where my brain goes sometimes. Alright, gonna leave the checkpoint, and we're gonna explore a bit more for now. Yeah, the :3 in chat is very, like, telling. There's just a gun soldier chilling in the corner for some reason. Like, I don't know why they're over here, but hey, more power to them. Okay, I'm now facing a situation where I'm just being stubborn, because I see there's like a ledge, and I'm like, is there anything up there? And like, I'm gonna get up there, and there's gonna be nothing there, because I know my luck. It just feels like there's something up there. It also doesn't look like it's entirely loaded in, so maybe you're not supposed to go up there. On my own time, I would probably spend a lot of time just jumping into that. Do not hit the goal ring, otherwise I'll have to do the entire story path all over again. But yeah, there's a reason I like to go through, whatever the, neutral stage equivalent of this would be. Something Gadget, I want to say. I want to say Crazy Gadget, but that's Sonic Adventure, too. But there's, like, whatever the, like, one where you race Sonic, like, if I'm just playing this game on my own time, I'm doing that stage instead of this, just to save myself time, and also just, again, because I feel like Shadow being, like, talking about taking candy from babies is really weird for the true hero path, but it's just always something that's stood out. Is falling out of bounds common in a Sonic game? Absolutely. One of my earliest childhood memories of raging at a game, and I was like legitimately pissed off about this too. I was playing Sonic Adventure 1, specifically DX, which should answer all questions of how did this happen, because DX is notoriously broken. But I was just walking around Station Square, I was playing as Tails, it's a very vivid memory, and I just fall out of bounds for no reason. And I got really mad at that, to the point where I think I ended up selling that copy of the game. It was on GameCube. But I just got like really fed up with the game, because it's like, this is stupid. Like, you just kind of like clip out bounds at the like smallest thing in these older Sonic games, but then I found out, oh yeah, DX is also just bad, because it's like, a lot of times when they remake Sonic games, like from scratch, they end up just collecting all sorts of bugs, which is kind of a problem with ports, something that gets like overestimated a lot with like, you know, people always are like, they could make so much money if they just plopped like, you know, Ratchet & Clank on PS4, and while I would also love to see Ratchet & Clank on PS4, I also fully acknowledge that it's a very, like, non-technical and also, like, almost downplayingly simple way to describe the porting process, because, like, the Ratchet games in particular are, like, notoriously, you know, held together with like duct tape and like a piece of gum. It's like they worked some serious magic to get those games as good as they are. And even like through emulation, those always had problems for a long time. So yeah, it's really like, I almost do feel like porting is trivialized to an extent, in terms of like how people talk about the process of doing so. Yeah, they basically broke the lighting system and also retextured everything to be, like, worse. Oh. Huh? We looped, actually. What happened?
No research experiments running
Like, is that supposed to happen? I'm, like, very confused. Because there's also a checkpoint after this, which means there's more stage somewhere. I checked up, right? I think I did. So yeah, this is the fun part of the stage, quote-unquote fun part. Finding that last chaos you're looking for. Yes, is the reason I went looking for a legitimate copy of the original. Yeah, at this point, I always use the project, like, you know, better SADX mod, and even that still is, like, because it's building off of the PC port of the GameCube version of, Adventure, it still feels very, like, slapdash in a way.
The experiments are fusing together.
Where did I miss one? Where did I miss a checkpoint? If this stage is looping, how did I miss a checkpoint? I'm so confused. Alright, guess we'll write this again and see what happens. Or is this different? I'm so confused. Again, maybe I missed one that's like behind a platform at some point. Yeah, that's the thing that's confusing me the most, is where's the checkpoint I'm missing? That's the part that doesn't make sense. Oh, it's there. It's just in the corner. So at least we can save our progress, so we don't have to do everything over again. We basically just have to find the one, instead of having to redo everything. But yeah, this is ostensibly the end of the stage. Which means we have a problem. I'm just kind of like going through my memory of like, where could I have missed one? Maria did mention something about an artificial chaos as we were passing through this area, but I also don't see anything. But that could also just be draw distance. So yeah, ideally, I think a good strategy would be to have a running tally and know how many you need to have by a certain point. I think that'd be the best way, like, actually track things better than I have. Oh wow, you can actually see other rail stations. That's really interesting. Like, it's genuinely fascinating how the draw distance works sometimes. Like, sometimes you can't see something like a foot in front of you, it feels like, but you can also see, like, large portions of the stage at a distance. Alright, so now we have to do the fun task of going through everything again. The short draw distances to simulate a real Hedgehog's vision. I'd believe it. I mean, like, Sonic can't swim, and the little reason for that is they didn't think Hedgehogs could swim, apparently. Though, to be fair, they kinda don't. They kinda just float. And now it's funny because the gun soldiers are just kind of shooting at nothing.
Shadow, don't get too close to the experiment.
Also, I like how Maria's dialogue is looping even though no one's here. Sonic the Float Hog. See, like, I would love it if they added some feature where Sonic could just float on water, like curl up in a ball and float. Though that's kind of like in Colors, you can just jump in water, so that kind of simulates the same feeling, I suppose. Ow. Yeah, he's just vibing.
Check your distance from the mutated experiments.
You know, I'm realizing something really silly, and I'm like wondering if I should go there in terms of pointing it out.
Those liquid creatures are the experiment byproduct.
Because there's a voice line that kind of breaks the fourth wall a bit, of a gun soldier saying Mr. Yushinaka is alright. And I'm just noting the irony that that voice line has not played at all in my entire playthrough of this game. And it's like, huh. Weird coincidence there, for reasons that I'm not sure if I should get into, but look up Balan Wonderworld if you're curious for more information. In all fairness, I've genuinely considered streaming Balan Wonderworld. It's like, it's really cheap to be honest, like $10 new. But there's a temptation just to firsthand see how bad it is, basically. So Yushinaka was not, in fact, alright. Indeed. I'm dancing around the subject. I really don't need to. It's like insider trading. It wasn't like the worst thing in the world, but also he's just apparently a very unpleasant person through and through. Like, there's a very famous photo of him with the Knights team, and like, he basically like took a Sharpie and blocked out Naoto Oshima from the photo. So people were posting this a ton when Superstars got announced, because Oshima returned to the franchise with that game. So it's like the irony of like the headlines of, you know, Naoto Oshima working on Sonic again, versus Yushinaka going to prison. It's like very, like, interesting timing for both of these. Don't. But like, curiosity. Like, I'm someone who likes playing bad games. Like, maybe it's a problem in a way that I enjoy subjecting myself to things like that, but I personally just find it really fascinating to see, like, you know, if a game is as bad as people make it out to be, like, give it a chance to be happy, to quote Maria.
We need ammo.
But again, also just morbid curiosity. Like, you know, if I had the means to play it, I would try Superman 64, just because I want to see how bad it is. Would I play it in full? Absolutely not. But, I would almost be curious to just dabble in it, just to see how bad it is. What other games are like that? The first game I ever owned on PS3 was actually Sonic 06. Genuinely, I really wanted the game because I was a huge Sonic nerd. I say was, I still am, to be honest. But because of that, I really wanted a PS3 for Sonic 06, so when they went down to 300, I ended up getting that. And I actually ended up liking 06 a fair amount more than I expected. It's obviously not a good game. I will not defend 06 in that regard. I will defend it from the standpoint of its development was hell. Basically, from what I gather of Sonic 06, they were like, oh, let's put this game on all consoles, including the Wii. And then they found out this game will not run on Wii. So what did they do? They split the team, like, in half, and basically had one team work on finishing 06, and the other working on Secret Rings. And that's probably why both games ended up feeling kind of half-baked a bit. At least that's my understanding of it. Oh, there it is. So we're finally free of the Ark. That only took 24 minutes.
Shadow, thank you.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but that is actually faster than I thought it would be.
As I promised you, Maria, I will.
Can't even really complain about that, because I had a feeling we'd run into a situation like that. That's kind of... I'm amazed. I thought that would be an E, just because we spent half an hour on it, practically.
Maria!
Please, Shadow, I need your help. Everyone's fate depends on you.
Maria!
Maria.
Shadow, look! Up there!
Huh? What is that?
Once every 50 years, that black comet passes by this planet. Oh, do you think those black creatures are somehow connected with that comet?
Black comet.
Shadow, what's wrong?
I think you're right. I feel it. They're up there. That's where the answers are. I've got to get to that comet.
I find it very fascinating how much Sonic fans have latched onto the concept of Maria dying as like a hype moment in the franchise. Like people were talking about how much they're looking forward to Maria getting shot in the Sonic movie 3, and it's like, that probably looks really bad out of context for Sonic fans. Also, like, who knows what will happen in Shadow Generations, to be honest. Yeah, this is the final stage. I forgot the name of this one. Final Haunt. It's funny that this song, despite taking place in an alien comet, is actually very chipper, and I think it's actually a really good touch. Yeah, Sonic fans can't wait for the terminally ill girl to be violently shot. It's like, yeah, maybe the enthusiasm is kind of like dark humor, a little bit. I remember seeing a clip of like the Sonic Orchestra or like Sonic Symphony where there's cheering at that scene being played at one point. It's like, I'm gonna have this look to non-Sonic fans. That just makes Sonic fans look really messed up. Why didn't that take damage? Oh. I guess him holding his hand up is enough to block laser bolts. That makes sense. Yeah, Sonic in this game just kind of plays like Sonic normally would. Like, he's got a homing attack and everything. So if you're player 2 as, like, Sonic here, it's actually not that bad. Actually, heck it, we might as well. This is just to get to the end stage. I might as well Chaos Control. There's also not going to be much in the way of, like, dark points, because we're in the alien comet. Therefore, there's not going to be a lot of other targets to get. There's definitely a case where it's like, trying to actually do the dark mission is kind of difficult, actually. Just because there's not much to farm points off of. As much as it... Wait, that actually gives you dark points, breaking the environment, which doesn't make any sense, to be honest, because, like, isn't that a good thing that we're smashing up their technology? So yeah, there's also like an infinite vacuum gun too, for like beating the game on one of the story modes. I forget which path it's for. These shots also bounce, which can be very bad for points, because you can accidentally cause friendly fire in some cases. It's because vandalism, that's vandalism, and vandalism is a crime, and crime is no good, but also Shadow was talking about stealing candy from babies, like, half an hour ago. Alright. Very slowly okay, game. I see how it is. I don't need to see. What was I even talking about? The camera totally threw me for a loop there. You don't know that baby... yeah, the baby could have been, like, totally evil. Oh, I'm very low to the ground. I don't like that. Alright, I'll just move on. I don't like fighting these. I'm just like, I'm tired of this. Actually, heck it, let's Chaos Control again. Why not? It's also going to be really bad because I haven't hit a checkpoint in this stage, like, at all. Meaning if we die, we have to redo the entire stage. So maybe this isn't a good plan. Like, maybe this is actually a very bad idea. So yeah, I am looking forward to Shadow... Oh, I almost just ran off the edge there. I am looking forward to Shadow Generations, but again, I have no clue when I'll actually get around to it. At this point, I've already seen some leaks about it, because I'm like, I'm not getting the game day one anyway, I'm going to get spoiled, because Sonic fans are just like that with things. Like, I was seeing a lot of Frontier spoilers long before I got to that point, and I played the game day one. In general, though, I kind of think Shadow Generations has the potential to be one of the best Sonic games in a long time. Hi, welcome to the stream. And yeah, it's actually been a pretty good time playing through this game. Again, a lot better than I remember it being, but it could also just be me getting better at games in general. Okay, it doesn't work on those enemies, I should have figured, but worth a try, I suppose. My favorite Sonic game is a toss-up. I always go back and forth all the time on what my favorite is. I'm like this with, like, every franchise that has had a switch to 3D. but I almost always divide up by era. So like, instead of just saying like, this is my favorite Sonic game, period, I tend to say like, this is my favorite 2D, this is my favorite 3D. So I think my favorite 2D is like Mania in some ways. But I've also burnt out on Mania. I literally played the game like with every character combo, so I kind of burnt out a little bit, unfortunately. Not to say that Mania is a bad game, and me playing it like 10 times, including Encore mode, and yeah, doing the story mode again as like Mighty and Ray, and like Knuckles, Tails, Sonic, and Sonic and Tails together, so that's a lot of playthroughs, and then a ton of playthroughs on my own time. So I've also just kind of burnt out on it. I've told the story before. I think I was in a different stream though. But I'm the same way with the Insomniac Spider-Man. I have played that game like 7 or 8 times, and thus I love the game. I'm also a little bit sick of it. Though, meanwhile, I'm also over here being like, maybe I should stream the Insomniac Spider-Man games, because that'll get me an excuse to actually like pick up Sonic, or to pick up Spider-Man 2 finally, because I actually don't even own Spider-Man 2. I don't even have a PlayStation, but it just kind of always slipped my mind. Or we can just cast Control through it, which is way faster. This should actually be close to the end of the stage, I'm pretty sure. Miles Morales as well. I have played that, and I actually kind of like it better from a gameplay perspective, but the story is undercooked for Miles. That's my biggest issue, is like every Insomniac Spider-Man game feels like the story is like getting worse, but the gameplay is getting better. So like, that's kind of why I never picked up Sonic, or picked up Spider-Man 2. It's just, the story felt kind of like underbaked, and I was kind of hoping for like DLC, or like a expansion for it. Because the first game did get DLC, whether they'll do that again, we don't know yet. We're not supposed to know, but there may be inclinations that things may happen. I'm going to leave it at that, because I don't want to go into details about like the leak last year. Sonic Heroes is a good choice. For 2D it's usually Mania, but again, I almost like 3 and Knuckles just because of Burnout. I also like Sonic 2 a lot. That was like my childhood Sonic game. I say when I had the Mega Collection, but I always did end up playing Sonic 2 the most out of that collection, because I like Tails. Also the other like cardinal sin of Spider-Man 2 is spoilers for Spider-Man 2, I suppose. This is not a big spoiler. But there's a plot where Kraven is like killing villains off screen and collecting trophies. So like one of the like worst decisions the game made is they kill off Shocker off screen, so you can't have a recreation of the 90s cartoon, which is like, everyone was like, I really hope they have like Shocker in this game, so you'll have like Yuri Lowenthal just screaming at Shocker. Because that'd be amazing. And then the discovery, like, oh yeah, he got killed off screen. It's like, that just kind of sucks, actually. So yeah, that's like one of the worst things that, in my opinion, that this game does. Slightly facetiously, slightly seriously. But, you know, there was a bit of a jokey component to that. But there's also some seriousness from the perspective of, a lot of the Spider-Man 2 feels kind of rushed in terms of, yeah, getting rid of like villains off screen and stuff, just kind of trimming down the rogues gallery in a way that feels a little bit anticlimactic after the first game, I suppose. Hi, Alpha. Thank you for the follow. And with that, we have made it to the end of the hero story. Somehow took less time than I thought it would, despite also spending half an hour on Lost Impact. Alright, so we have to fight Black Doom again. I don't remember if this is a bad fight or not. Some of them don't give you enough weapons to really fight him adequately. That seems to be more of an issue for Sonic, though, the Diabolon fight.
I'm very impressed you made it this far.
Black Doom, your rule ends here, and it ends now!
So you're behind all this. Like it or not, the game's over.
Fools. The Black Arms are more than superior. We are perfect. Do you really think you have any real chance of defeating us?
It's you who should be scared, Black Doom. I made a promise to Maria to save the planet she loved so much, and I will.
Then get ready to die. Let me show you the ultimate power in the universe. Now I will show you just how pitiful you inferior life forms are.
This is it! Let's end this once and for all!
Do you ever wonder how Sean Schemmel still has like functional vocal cords after like voicing characters like Black Doom and also all the screaming necessary for Dragon Ball? Like, damn, that's some like... That's very impressive actually. As someone who definitely feels like my voice dies after a 2-hour stream of speaking like... We're trying to speak normally. Cords of steel, basically.
You can hit him with a homing attack.
Yeah, it's a very pretty necklace. I've always thought that. It's like really fascinating to me because I always wondered if like the necklace had some connection to the Chaos Emeralds, because a lot of them kind of have similar like colors, not entirely, but it was always something that caught my eye. It's like, I wonder if there's some connection between him and the Emeralds, and then the game never really does anything with that. Hey, maybe they will in Shadow Generations, because Ian Flynn likes a lot of callbacks in his writing. Though then again, that's also partly on Sega, I'd say, for like some of the decisions made for this franchise. I still need to read the comics, to be honest. I always hear a really good thing about the IDW run, but I'm not much of a reader, to be honest. 8 shots left. That's not ideal, I'd say. Okay, those do not shield you from damage. Good to know. Also good to know.
Behold the ultimate power!
Might as well just do this. Like, I have infinite ammo. I might as well just be ready to catch him at the moment he drops his guard. Again, this fight's really easy because they give you, like, really good guns. A lot of the other ones are like, here's a handgun with 10 ammo. Like, figure out how to fight the boss. It's like, thanks. No clue how I'm supposed to A-rank this. Yeah, that's actually really impressive that you, for Alpha and chat, that you got all A-ranks, because I've never done that. Partly because I'm not that good at the game, and we've run into a lot of issues in this playthrough, in all fairness.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
Shadow. This isn't over yet. The Black Arms will rise again.
Let's do this! I'm Shadow the Hedgehog, and I made a promise that I intend to keep. With the power of these emeralds, Black Doom and his army are finished! This is who I am!
So, guess what? None of this mattered, in a way. You S-ranked 06 on 360 in Heroes. I've also gotten 100% on Heroes, but for me it was actually on an old account from a prior gender, shall we say. So I have to buy an adapter or another controller because my 360 controller just died. The final thing I ever did with that 360 controller was buying Third Strike Online. And literally lasted just enough time to buy that game before the 360 store closed. And then the battery immediately like disconnected, and like even if I put in fresh batteries, the actual connection is broken. But I thought about picking up like a brick adapter or something to run like a, you know, a different kind of controller to 360 and then 100% 06 again. Actually, the Sonic Heroes playthrough was only like a couple weeks ago. I did do a stream playthrough of that a little bit ago as well. Basically, I also did Adventure 2 because I've been really inspired because of all the Shadow content that we're getting this year. I don't know why I'm letting the credits play, actually, considering that we'll be seeing them again in like a few moments. All Hail Shadow is a really interesting song because like the original never comes up anymore. If they use it in a game, it's almost always the Crush 480 version. Alrighty then, so here's the fun thing. I only did 5 of the endings on stream because that would necessitate playing the entirety of these stories multiple times. So what I ended up doing was I ended up actually capturing footage of the endings we're missing. So I'm actually going to play that now.
Only one Chaos Emerald left.
You disobeyed my orders.
Yeah, well, I told you. No one tells me what to do. I need these emeralds to uncover the truth about my past.
Huh. What do you think vermin like you could accomplish on your own? Let me show you. Those who commit mutiny against me will see no mercy. And do not defy me again.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
Shadow. This isn't over yet. The Black Arms will rise again.
I'm Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form born to rule all. With the power of these emeralds, I'm going to conquer the universe. This is who I am.
Shadow!
Doctor?
Hand those 6 Chaos Emeralds to me.
Pausing for a moment because Nicole's comment just reminded me of like the way the fandom handled it, where it's like there's this huge speech and it immediately cuts to them like on the floor. It's like that part always amuses me for some reason. Yeah, that was the cutscene for the Dark True story. So it's going top to bottom for the ones that we didn't actually see on stream up to this point. Also, I don't know how to feel about Eggman calling Shadow a good boy, but we'll continue on.
Like a good boy. You were unleashed to find the emeralds. Excellent job, Shadow. You've done well. Now hand them over.
Not a chance.
What?
I need these emeralds to help me uncover my past. They're not going anywhere.
Well then, we'll just see about that. Shadow, prepare yourself.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
How dare you defy me?
I am Shadow the Hedgehog. I, and only I, know what is best. No one can tell me what to do. This is who I am.
What?
Goodbye, Doctor.
You did very well, Shadow Android. You have surpassed expectations, equal to that of the real Shadow. Excellent. Now give me those emeralds.
Never!
What?
I didn't collect them to hand them over to you. I collected them to destroy you.
How dare you? I created you. I gave you life. I gave you an order, or have you forgotten? Idiot! Perhaps I need to teach you a lesson!
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
I made you, and this is how you repay me?
I am Shadow Android, the ultimate life form, a copy of Shadow the Hedgehog. With the power of these emeralds, I will be stronger than him. This is who I am.
What?
Goodbye, Doctor.
You ever think about how many times Eggman dies over the course of this story? It's like, it's the same story beat in a lot of cases. Because there's only 3 bosses. It's Diabolon and Sonic, Egg Dealer, or Black Doom. But it's like, I think in 3 of 4, Eggman dies. And it's like, always like karate chopped, which is always the funniest thing, because it's like, and the one like Omega's literally pointing a gun at him, and yet apparently that's enough to finish off Eggman. So it's like kind of overkill for Omega. But then again, Eggman can survive so much else. I'm not quite sure, but maybe it's the Chaos Emerald, so it's like a Chaos Emerald powered karate chop or something.
Shadow!
Doctor?
Hand those 6 Chaos Emeralds to me, like a good boy. You were once a great invention from my grandfather's past, but this is my time. Give me the Chaos Emeralds, and I will spare your life.
Doctor.
What?
This is something I must do on my own. I must uncover the truth. I made a promise to all the victims aboard the Ark.
This is nonsense! You will obey me, or there will be dire consequences.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
You ungrateful little pest. Have you forgotten that it was my grandfather who created you?
I am Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form, born and raised aboard the Ark. I shall live on. I am the protector of the Ark. I am living proof of the ultimate life form. This is who I am.
What?
Leave now and never return. I won't allow anyone to violate the sacred Ark.
I'd like to point out that that was like the dark ending for that path, which is like, it's somehow... I mean, the hero ending is more sad, oddly enough, than the dark ending in that case.
Shadow, why are you siding with those black creatures?
Siding with them? You're joking, right? I'm just siding with whoever goes up against you. This time you're going down, Sonic.
If that's how it's gonna be, Shadow, then bring it on!
Just say when. Finally,
I've got all the Chaos Emeralds. Man, I didn't think you had it in ya. I'm Shadow the Hedgehog, and now I am the most powerful hedgehog in the world! The power of these emeralds makes me invincible. I am the ultimate hedgehog. This is who I am.
That ending was like trending on Twitter the other day because people were joking about how, like, because that's the one for the true hero path, unless you help Black Doom at the very end. So basically, like, Shadow just heel turns because it's like, yeah, I don't like Sonic, so I'll just join the bad guys just this once, just to kick Sonic's ass. And yeah, a lot of these endings do have a problem of feeling like last minute swerves away. In terms of like if you just veer off all of a sudden, because none of the ending paths actually have neutral endings. They're all, it's either hero or dark for all these. Thank you. Basically I assembled it through V-Roid using a bunch of different assets in terms of like stuff I could find for free on different websites and like pre-made assets. So I'm really happy with how it turned out, all things considered, and with some editing as well. Links to the script, links in my channel page to everything. Now I just want to play Metal Gear Rising. I've kind of been wanting to play that again anyway, in all fairness, but I have seriously considered playing Metal Gear, but the only problem is the cutscenes. If I don't talk over cutscenes, there will be entire streams where I don't get to say anything. Speaking of which, we are going to do the last story, which, if I don't talk over cutscenes, it's gonna be a bit. This is a long cutscene. I have not actually played Worms 3D. I don't think I've ever played a single Worms game except maybe like a free-to-play one. I think it was the Battle Royale, if I'm not mistaken. But because this is just a lot of cutscene, I am actually going to step away for a moment and just let this play.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds. Now, I can uncover the truth about my past. All of it.
Well done, Shadow. Our ritual can now commence as planned. Give me the Chaos Emeralds.
Huh? Shadow, give me the Chaos Emeralds!
Do not give the emeralds to Black Doom, Shadow.
They're planning to destroy the planet.
Ignorant fools. We're here to save the humans from their own demise. We offer salvation.
What?
Their greed, thirst for power, and affinity for betrayal has them on a path of self-destruction. Their actions will lead to extinction of their species. We're here to save them from themselves with our perfect order, allowing them to live through their desperate lives in peace. Humans are a great energy source for us. They will be well kept. Let us begin our ritual of prosperity. Chaos Control!
This can't be happening.
What was that? What just happened?
Those black creatures just warped the comet down to the surface using chaos control.
No, that's impossible.
That's why you needed the Chaos Emeralds.
Precisely. The comet's velocity isn't powerful enough to pass through another planet's atmosphere. The emeralds amplify the space-time control powers of chaos control. We need them to charge to full power. It's the perfect plan. That's why I needed the professor to help me.
What? That's insane!
The professor was in development of the ultimate life force, but he needed my help. So we made a deal. I helped him, and he promised to deliver me the 7 Chaos Emeralds. That's how you were created, Shadow. You would help us do both.
Me? I can't believe it.
That can't be! He betrayed his own people for research? For Black Doom?
Big deal. We can't just stand here doing nothing.
Yeah, let's do this! I'll crush that cosmic rock ball!
Knuckles, what's wrong?
A special weapon. This gas, once released, is quickly absorbed into your bloodstream. In a moment, total paralysis will hit your nervous system. The end is near now. Ah, my dear offspring. Eat and devour these savory dishes.
Oh, back off, you slime balls!
What is that?
Back off, you slime balls!
What is that?
Remember, the
I will
humans are
avenge
your
those whose
enemy.
blood has
Did I
I gave you
die?
life, Shadow!
That's why you were created.
Please help me, Shadow.
What?
I am Shadow the Hedgehog. I've left the past behind me. No one can tell me what to do now. I will destroy you, Black Doom.
I gave you life, and this is how you repay me? The irony of it all is I gave you life. Now, I'll take it back.
Shadow!
You're our only hope now.
I will say in all fairness, I have actually thought those looked like meat before. Oddly enough, the little alien creatures in that cutscene. Anyway, that was a long cutscene. And yeah, this game is interesting because the last story unlocks by default by getting all 10 main endings. But it doesn't really pick up from any of them, necessarily. So it's kind of a common criticism for this game that like the last story is sort of by itself in its own little like pocket of continuity in a way and doesn't like directly tie into anything else. I'm a little bit torn. I think ideally it would be interesting to be able to have like some way to actually tie it in better, but I'm not sure how without like having different versions of the last story for each ending, which would be a little bit awkward actually, given how messed up some of the endings are. Like how would you actually continue if Eggman dies? How would that affect the timeline and everything? And yeah, Shadow Generations is going to be interesting. from the perspective of how much they acknowledge for this. By the way, the gimmick of the stage is you have to like use chaos control at set moments to actually pass certain barriers. Obviously, if you use the chaos control glitch, you can skip a lot of the stage. We're not going to do that though, because I kind of want to play the stage in its entirety. Like, as it's intended to be played, even though it is an option, and on my own time I have definitely done runs where I've just done the chaos control glitch through the entire stage. Yeah, very, like, somber track for this one. I can barely hear it, actually, though that's more on me not wanting to be drowned out by the game. And still trying to work through audio settings, to be honest. You know, something I should look into is, like, finding on 100% save, for the purpose of doing a, expert mode run, because I've heard people actually say expert mode is a better way to play the game, because it basically picks objectives for you and just makes you go through them all in like a continuous experience in a way that actually I think would be a lot more interesting in some ways, and more like cohesive in some other ways. Yeah, I've never actually gotten all A ranks though, so that's why I've never played it myself. I've briefly tried Heroes' expert mode and I got frustrated and stopped, so I don't know if it's actually, like, legitimately harder, or if the gimmick is just what makes it difficult because you have to play all the stages, like, straight through. I also don't know if hero mode or, like, expert mode of that would even have, like, checkpoints or anything like that. Ah, heck it, why not? We're kind of burning it early, because we'll probably hit the first barrier before too long. But might as well. We have it. Sure, why not? Again, stuff has been leaking from the game. I'm not going to discuss leaks for obvious reasons, because the game isn't out for like another week. And don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, just acknowledging that there are spoilers for Shadow Generations in the wild, and there's been some interesting stuff. My go-to answer for a Sonic character is always Blaze the Cat. Like, I like cats for one thing, and she's just kind of like an interesting character because of her having to learn to open up. I feel like if you get to know me, my character choices become incredibly, like, predictable at a point, because it's always like closed-off characters trying to learn to have friends. It's like the trope I almost always gravitate to when people ask me, like, who is your favorite character in this? It's like, yeah, it's usually going to fall into this archetype. I had this realization with a series recently. It might have been Splatoon, actually, that I was thinking about. Like with Marina. But again, like, who are my favorite characters, like, right now in media? My favorite gaming character that I always go with is Nia from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Which, I can't really talk about because her story is, like, really spoilery. But again, sort of hits that theme as well, so again, there's a bit of a pattern. Favorite Guilty Gear character at the moment is Dizzy. That also falls into that pattern of, like, oh, character who has to, like, learn to open up and, like, not be afraid of her true self kind of a thing. So yeah, there's some patterns with, like, the characters I latch on to and hyperfixate over. Okay, at least I have the foresight to not drop you over the pit. That's very, nice of the game, to not just kill you there. Yeah, Nia is, like, genuinely my favorite character in, like, anything, actually. When someone asks, like, who's your favorite character of all time, I almost always say Nia, just as the easy answer. Mine is over here. Yeah, I don't know what this is for, but I'm curious now. This is probably a waste of time. That's just for a key. In general, though, I'm not really, like, picky with characters, as my friends can also attest to be extremely blunt. But like, certain characters I just, like, hyperfixate over, like, massively, more so than others. And see, like, the actual, like, main thing with Nia, I can't really talk about, because it's, like, Chapter 7. if you played Xenoblade, I can just say Chapter 7 and literally not say anything else, and you'll know exactly what I mean, most likely. Yeah, reasons related to Chapter 7, I'll leave it at that for now.
Maybe I can use my home.
It is a case of this game just having a lot of asset reuse, which is not a bad thing by any means, but having just played through the previous stage, I'm like, yeah, we're kind of just going through that stage again. Like, same, like, set pieces just rearranged, which again, is clever design. Like, why make a whole new, like, asset if you don't have to, since, you know, the final story makes sense to take place in the comet anyway. But still, there is this feeling of like, yeah, we've definitely just been here. I'm trying to think of other characters. There's other characters that don't have as much like deep meaning to. Like, I like Rose and Lena a lot from Mario Galaxy. It's like I like Cynthia from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, because that was my first Pokemon game. Diamond specifically, which is why I'm also like really forgiving of Gen 4 in general, because I had nothing to compare it to. When I actually started playing Gen 3 for the first time, I like was blown away by how fast the battle speed was, because I had come off of Gen 4. That was like genuinely like mind-boggling how fast battles went. And wait, we actually made it to the end already. I thought we had to use gas control more, but maybe I skipped some barriers without meaning to, just because of like autopiloting so much. But hey, that wasn't too bad. Also, you don't get a rank for this one for some reason.
Well done, Shadow. You've gone farther than I expected. I'm impressed. But you still don't understand, do you? The future we offer is the only option for these humans.
I've heard enough. You're boring me to death, Black Doom. You're going down!
Such bravado for a little hedgehog. I thought you were different from the rest, but maybe not. We are more alike than you think. The same blood runs through our veins.
This can't be. Just who are you?
Don't you know? You were created from my blood.
What?
That's right. You are a part of me. Do you feel that? I can control you. You cannot escape me, nor can you escape your past.
Damn you! No! It's not true!
SBO? Are you in yet?
Quiet, Charmy! SBO, we need you to focus, because if we don't hurry, all the data we recovered will be lost!
Easier said than done. Who signed me up for this anyway?
That's it! I'll do it! Get out of the way!
Get back here, you idiot! Hey, it's working!
Shadow, my son.
Professor?
What is this?
If you're listening to this, then the worst has happened. You need to know the truth. The government plans to shut down this research facility. The government plans to cease all of our research and imprison all who know about you. I made a terrible mistake, Shadow. It's all my fault. Making contact with that comet.
Professor Gerald?
Now listen very carefully. In 50 years, the Black Comet will return. They plan to harness its powers to destroy this planet. The only way to stop them was to develop a way to use the very power they intended to use against them.
That's it! It's brilliant!
Shadow, it's up to you, and only you can stop them. I developed the Eclipse Cannon. It's the only weapon that can destroy that Black Comet. Shadow, you are the only hope to save mankind as we know it. The future of this planet depends on you.
Don't worry, Grandfather. Shadow and I will protect this planet. Right, Shadow?
Gerald, you fool. Shadow is already in my control. What's this? Well. Seems like you're immune to my mind control.
You have no control over me, Black Doom. I now understand why I am here. I made a promise and I'm here to keep it. Today, I put my past behind me.
Have it your way, Shadow. So be it. Be prepared to meet your maker. Your past, present, and future ends here. Today, prepare to die. Say goodbye, Shadow, as you witness my true wrath. Defy me, so be it. You shall pay for your ingratitude with regret.
I like how it just kind of reuses the roar from Chaos, I think. Anyway, this fight kind of is weird. I forgot I did that, to be honest. It's been a bit since I've done this fight. But yeah, we have to basically go back and forth, attacking Doom's Eye. We also have to worry about rings, as usual, for a supersonic fight, which is also stressful. Now, what do we want to do about this? I don't see any rings nearby, which is also a problem. Okay, I see some balloons now, so we'll stop and pick up some rings, if I can get them in time. They all flew away. That's bad. I have 2 rings left. Cool. Thanks, game. That happens. So this boss is really, like, not my favorite, like, super fight in the series. Partly just because you're at the mercy of the game blocking onto things properly. And, like, I didn't see any balloons in this phase the first time. So this is just a case of, like, we kinda got screwed over. Speaking of getting screwed over, I don't know why I'm so low. There we go. So yeah, you're at the mercy of the game locking on properly. What is my favorite super fight? Probably Final Horizon at this point. Which almost feels like cheating in a way, to go with anything from Frontiers. My weird take on Frontiers as bosses, though, is I actually don't like the first fight from the main game very much, just because it's a little bit anticlimactic. Solaris is an okay fight, actually. The music's really good. The one thing I don't like about Solaris is sometimes hit detection can be really weird, where it's like, you feel like you should be dealing damage, but you're not. Beyond that, I actually don't mind Solaris that much. Okay, this fight's just gonna be a pain, apparently, today. I've landed 1 hit in the entirety of this second try. So yeah, not my favorite, just because it's a little bit obtuse in terms of, like, aiming. If you can actually manually, even just having a lock-on cursor would make this, like, way more tolerable, in my opinion. but because you're just at the mercy of the game targeting the right thing, it just gets a little bit frustrating. I don't know if this even works on him. Like, are we even dealing damage, or is he just... Or can you only land one hit at a time? That's what it feels like. So all this is doing is actually just wasting our rings, oddly enough. So this is like counterintuitive. Also, the remix of I Am All of Me in the song is alright. It's actually like a slightly truncated version though. Like, I think it's slightly shorter. Like, it skips the intro bit for obvious reasons. Other good super fights, I like Unleashed's final boss, to be honest, and that actually goes for both versions. I like the Weave fight too. Weave fight is like a lot simpler, which I actually do appreciate in some ways. Because I actually find the HD fight a little bit over-complicated to the point of like being a bit much, and again, the final phase is just like breaking a shield, which isn't as like exciting as dealing direct damage. Also, the chip stuff in the HD version really sucks. Like dodging all the debris and all the attacks from Perfect Dark Gaia, that part sucks. But the actual supersonic fight, that's cool. I just wish you could get to that part a lot simpler. So, the other thing worth mentioning about this fight that's really weird is there's actually extraordinarily rare dialogue in this fight. You have to survive for like 8 minutes, and then Eggman will basically talk about how after the events of Heroes, or after the events of Adventure, he ends up finding Shadow and like reviving him. So it's like confirming that this is the original Shadow, but no one should hear this line because of just the absurdity of surviving this very difficult boss fight for 8 minutes just to hear this bit of dialogue. I don't even know how people found it, to be honest. Maybe I'm just bad, because it's like, once you get into a rhythm, it's actually not that terrible, but, you know, getting into that rhythm took a few attempts, basically. Oh, so you can't get close to him, or else he'll teleport. In theory, this fight isn't terrible. Again, just having a cursor would make a huge difference. Like, a lock-on target would make this, like, really okay. But because you can't tell what you're aiming at, and it's just kind of a crapshoot, that's what I don't like about it. So yeah, mixed feelings on this boss fight, for sure. Also, collecting rings is impossible, it feels like, at times, because you literally can't see where the rings are. So you're just kind of blind firing. Actually, does this work? Like, I don't know if that did do damage, so cool. That's good. Again, you still have the problem of, like, having to go to the other side, so it's a time-consuming fight, basically. Vibe-wise, I would actually say Black Knight has a really good final boss, because I think With Me is one of the strongest songs in the series, and is extremely overlooked, because Black Knight just has wonky controls. Second try, I'll take it. That could have been a lot worse, to be honest. Yeah, that takes care of that for now.
This is the end of you, and the end to my cursed past. Only one thing left to do. To put the past behind me. Chaos Control!
Shadow, that was sweet.
I hope he's okay.
I'm sure he's fine, Rouge. After all, he is Shadow.
How about giving me back those Chaos Emeralds now?
Hey! Get back here, you creep!
after the way we all treated him, he saved us all in the end. We were all wrong about the Professor. Let us pay homage to Professor Gerald. Let's work to ensure peace and prosperity for a brighter future. What do you say, Commander?
Excellent idea, Mr. President.
Goodbye forever, Shadow the Hedgehog.
So I actually forgot to Google something before this, because I ran out of time. I was definitely rushing to get the stream started. One thing I'm curious about is what does Shadow say in the Japanese version of this cutscene? Because personally, I always thought it was weird that he didn't say sayonara in this. Shadow the Hedgehog. Also, yeah, the final boss went really fast, actually. It took 2 tries, because I died right away the first time. Yeah, the second time I kind of got the rhythm back. And yeah, it was mostly me just complaining about the fight, to be honest. This part always amused me, because it's like, I like the sound of I Am All With Me done in a piano style, but it always just makes me think of like the Lonely Man song from Incredible Hulk. Also, Never Turn Back is a really good song. Probably my favorite credits song in the game, which is good because that's probably the only one of the few that I'm fairly confident I won't have to skip for VOD purposes. So yeah, that was Shadow the Hedgehog. Overall, there were some frustrating moments, as you can expect from every Sonic game, but on the whole, that was actually a lot of fun. And again, I'm definitely warmed up to this game. It's not perfect. Like, you know, Kid Me would give this like a 4 out of 10, because I'd be very mad at certain stages, like the Artificial Chaos one. Now we'd probably give it like a 6, maybe 6.5, just because... So what's the plot? Basically... I mean, the actual problem with this game that comes up a lot is that a lot of stages don't matter. Like, the actual last story doesn't tie directly into any existing story, because there's like very few ways to line it up in such a way that things make sense. For example, the president is in the bunker with the gun commander, which would require you to go all the way up to like Air Fleet, basically, and then like back down to one of the hero routes, because obviously, you know, Shadow can't just like be evil for that. But then again, he also stops Black Doom in the hero endings for the most part, so that obviously doesn't line up with, you know, him still being around in this case. So yeah, basically Shadow has an identity crisis. He's questioning everything after like Heroes. Black Doom shows up, promises to tell him about stuff if he helps him. Shadow can choose whether to help him or not. Oh yeah, the White House gets blown up at one point. That happens. Someone at Sega really liked Independence Day, apparently. And yeah, and then at the end, everyone just shows up at the Black Comet, and the ending plays out. So yeah, it's kind of disjointed, and it's one of the things where I think Kid Me had objections to it, but adult me just thinks it's funny. Again, like hypothetically, you could go to Air Fleet and then do the hero mission, and then you end up at the lava level. So what that means is, like, yeah, Shadow just, like, saves the president's life, and then suddenly it's like, hey, I think I'm a robot, and then you go to Lava Shelter, and there's, like, no continuity. It's, like, not really intended to be this way, but in my opinion, it's very funny that is an option, just because of, like, the endings being fixed, and don't really reflect stuff you've done earlier. Again, something that was widely panned about this game at the time, but I feel like I kind of take it in stride a bit now, where I just think it's funny more than anything. Like, I just enjoy how, like, silly some of the, like, lack of continuity and cohesiveness can come across. And yeah, the actual gameplay is pretty alright. Again, maybe because I had just played Heroes, I'm used to the slippery controls, but I actually didn't feel like I had too many issues with playing the game. My only real issue, I wasn't looking at Shadow gone, he's fine. He got better after falling into Earth's atmosphere in Adventure 2. Also, it is fascinating to me, and I wonder how they'll approach it from the perspective of like Shadow getting over his past and him always being like, "Oh yeah, I'm totally better in this game," and clearly he's not, because there's a chance to do something really like interesting with that. But we have to wait and see. We have a week to go for Shadow Generations. So yeah, that takes care of Shadow the Hedgehog. That was actually a lot of fun. Again, if you want to 100% this game, you'd have to get all A ranks through like whatever means. You can either do select mode or story mode, or if you're feeling really gutsy, another 100% requirement technically is getting all 326 possible story combinations. I don't recommend trying that personally, that feels like a lot. But yeah, it actually tracks everything, so hypothetically, to truly get 100%, you would have to play this game 326 times. Again, this definitely feels like a Korok situation, where it's like, it's nice that it tracks it, but it's definitely not meant to actually be done. But yeah, in the library, they literally segment everything out based on every possible combination you can potentially get. So yeah, 326, and again, because this is the true hero route, it's just going all along the bottom. That's how you know the number, for sure. So yeah, don't 100% this game unless you like really love it, because also, I mean, I'm sure some people have, because the game's like, God, it's 20 years old now. But because it's so old, like, I'm sure someone has, and it wouldn't be as bad because of doing it over a course of 20 years. But yeah, for me personally, not my idea of a good time. So yeah, and then if you get all A ranks, also there's the keys too, which I've totally spaced out on for this playthrough. So what's after this game is the story irrelevant. It directly ties... Okay, so... This goes to 06, where it's like Shadow and the Gun Commander kiss and make up, and he's like temporarily working for Gun. But then also, like, the way the plot plays out, Sonic 06 kind of doesn't exist in a way, or like not everyone remembers it happened, because they have to like do a timey-wimey thing to like go back and prevent an apocalypse from happening at all. So that means 06 kind of gets retconned by itself, which is very like fascinating to me, always has been very interesting to me. My favorite level, probably Space Gadget. That's like what my gut instinct is telling me, is Space Gadget is my like favorite overall. Overall, the levels are pretty solid if you go for certain objectives. I've kind of avoided a lot of the really bad ones. Again, like this one, Mad Matrix. Both the Hero and Dark routes take a long time. I have no clue how to A-rank either. But just sticking to the neutral path is not bad. But yeah, back to the previous question. Basically, 06 doesn't happen, sort of. So that means the next game that's like 100% canon is Unleashed, where like nothing in this game matters to Unleashed or Colors after. But then you got to Generations, and Generations inherently doesn't have anything connecting to this, but Generations is obviously the framework of Shadow Generations. It's been confirmed that the bonus story will take place concurrently with Sonic Generations. So yeah, this basically ties in because of the Time Eater in Sonic Generations. Black Doom is back. So it's basically about Shadow like re-exploring his past even more, which again is interesting because that's kind of the point of this game at a point. So it's a little redundant in a way, but again, it's like trauma takes a while to get through. So I know some people are probably gonna be all like picky about it, but I actually kind of don't have an issue with like Shadow, you know, having moments where he still thinks about Maria and Professor and everything, especially being directly confronted by Black Doom again. And that's kind of also what the Dark Beginnings shorts go into, is like Shadow having to go back to the Ark, and sort of like Shadow's doing okay up to that point, but because he has to go back to the Ark, he basically has to face that trauma of losing Maria again. So yeah, that's basically like Sonic lore as I understand it. After Generations is Lost World. Is Shadow really a hedgehog? That actually goes into something else that's been talked about recently. They are making a like digital deluxe edition for this game. I'm assuming there's gonna be like an upgrade path, so I'll just do it that way because I like physical copies. I'll probably get it on Xbox because I have like Unleashed and everything else on 360 and Xbox One. So just for the sake of having all the Sonic games on my shelf, in the same spot, I will probably pick up the Xbox version. Also don't know how it runs on Switch yet, so that's the other thing. If it runs okay on Switch, maybe, but I think I'd lean more towards Xbox for continuity in a way. But, the Digital Deluxe Edition comes with special costumes for all three. There's a Dreamcast skin for Sonic, for modern Sonic, a Sonic Jam skin for Sonic, or for classic Sonic, and a beta design for Shadow, which is known as Terios for some reason. So the Terios design was officially revealed yesterday, but there's actually like headcanons now that Terios is like what Shadow looked like before being injected with alien DNA or something like that. And I find that a very fascinating like headcanon for like Shadow's appearance, that he was already just a hedgehog, but obviously artificially created. But then like being injected with, you know, Black Arm's DNA is what made him, you know, transform into what we currently know as Shadow. So an interesting headcanon there, but obviously just, you know, a theory until proven otherwise, which I doubt it will be, since this is just a deluxe edition bonus. But also because I have actually been doing really long streams, and by long I mean 3 hours, but that is still longer than I intend most of the time. I think I'm actually gonna call it here and just leave it at that. Maybe at some other point we'll pick up Ring Racers or something else. Schedule for the week, I do not know. Current plans are at least to do something on Monday and Wednesday, but I actually don't know what I'm doing. I might do a new game, I might just continue Ring Racers, I don't know. But my thing right now is I've been playing so much Sonic and Guilty Gear, I'm a little bit Guilty Geared and Sonic out, so I might actually take a break from both for a little bit, and then resume those. Like, we'll get back to Strive when Dizzy comes out for sure. But yeah, I might continue Ring Racers, I might try to find something non-Sonic. I've had a couple of things in mind, like I almost want to go through Splatoon 1 again. Partly because my Wii U is a launch model, I have no clue how long it'll continue to work, so I kind of want to squeeze in one more Splatoon playthrough before my Wii U dies. You know what you could play? Are you gonna say Yakuza 0? Because I don't know if I want to commit to Yakuza 0 quite yet. It's definitely on the list of possibilities, but I almost feel like I'm not quite ready to jump into a game I'm not familiar with quite yet. But in general, I might just try to pick something relatively short. Again, I was sort of thinking Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I actually don't own Judgment. I only own Yakuza 0. That's the only one I own. So yeah, I've also thought about skipping ahead. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I've considered skipping to Like a Dragon after that, because I don't know if I want to go through all the Kiwamis and then 3 through 6 before going through Like a Dragon, because that's the one I'm more interested in, because of like Ichiban and so on. Like, the new characters seem more interesting to me personally. Nothing wrong with Kiryu, obviously, but just there's something about Ichiban as a character that's like more appealing in a way. I thought you were going to think I was going to say Star Rail. See, like with Star Rail, I'm not that interested in the actual gameplay. I just like boot it up whenever I need to summon for a character I want, and then I don't actually play the game. So, I don't know how much I could carry a Star Rail stream, because I don't like engage with the gameplay very much, or most gachas in general, to be honest. So yeah, maybe like I'm thinking about Mario and Luigi. It also depends on if I end up caving and picking up Mario Party or not, and if I can actually like, you know, do something with that, because that is coming out this week, but I'm not even sure if I'm picking it up. I need to check with friends first if anyone else is gonna be playing it first. Not that I've almost never played Mario Party with actual people, and this one actually does have a story mode from what I gather. So yeah, I'll probably end up picking it up anyway, but yeah, Mario and Luigi is the game I'm most looking forward to right now, so yeah, maybe we'll consider that. That should only take like 2 or 3 streams, because if I'm not reading out all the dialogue, especially, Superstar Saga will probably go pretty fast. I hope, at least, because, yeah, I want to say it takes me like 8 to 10 hours, so maybe like, you know, 3 streams, maybe 3.5. And yeah, for Wednesday, I don't know, maybe we'll do my Splatoon idea, but also, like, the week after, I'm not sure, because I might just end up doing Strive on Thursday instead of Wednesday, just because Dizzy releases, like, because time zones, like, Wednesday at, like, 2 AM or something. So yeah, basically the point is, Monday and Wednesday, aiming for 4 PM Pacific time, as always. What I'm going to play, I don't even know yet, so stay tuned. I never promote like socials or anything, but I do have like commands for like different links. I don't even know if I have a Blue Sky one, actually. If I just have like Twitter, which I'm really thinking about getting rid of Twitter for obvious reasons at the moment, probably. Yeah, I don't actually have a specific command for Blue Sky. I have one for both, actually. So yeah, I don't really post much, though, on, like, Twitter or Blue Sky, just mostly stream updates. But again, you also have commands for other things as well. Some of which I'm, like, hesitating to promote, because I know, a feeling about how it could potentially go if I start promoting myself more. There's no reason to have a Twitter in 2024, basically. But let's see. Is it social or socials? It is social. So if you want to follow me on Blue Sky, I will probably get rid of the Twitter link, to be honest, because I'm probably going to abandon that before too long. Also, by the way, my room is very dark, so if it looks like I'm squinting this entire time, I actually have my eyes open, and there's not enough light. But again, since we're ending, I don't really care about turning on the light, if I'm just going to be ending anyway. You also have like a link tree set up with other links too. I do have a lot set up and a lot planned. The big thing I want to eventually do is get custom emotes, but that would require like potentially commissioning people, and I already have a couple of artists in mind to commission. But that just kind of means I need to budget out and plan out some things. As always, any additional support for the stream is totally optional, but greatly appreciated. But it does mean a lot just inherently that everyone's willing to come around and hang out. and spend their time watching little old me, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it early just because I am like worn out from the week I've had, both because I've done so many like streams that were meant to be shorter. Actually, you know what? I have an idea. We should do something Halloween themed, sort of loosely. Well, what if I played like Castlevania or something? But I'm trying to think of which games I, 1, own, and 2, would not pull my hair out playing. Cause like, I could do Ritual of the Night, I suppose. That'd be Bloodstained, but close enough. But I don't know if I'd do the classic ones or the Metroidvania ones. Resident Evil is always one that I want to stream, but the problem is it's very violent. And I don't know how well that's gonna go over, because it's a very different, like, genre of game compared to what I've been streaming. So it's like, Resident Evil might be one that I wait on, as much as I've been kinda clamoring to play Resident Evil 2 again. I might just do that on my own time, which would be my, like, 12th Claire playthrough or something. Yeah, when I was listing favorite characters earlier, I should have said Claire Redfield. She is definitely another character I'm very normal about. I am trying to think of anything else I needed to say or wanted to say, and my brain, I think, is very tired from the week I've had. Let us check Twitch for a moment. I have an idea. Gender. Yep, Claire Redfield is very gender. Stream Resident Evil, but like, yeah, my only thing is just, it's very gory. That's like the main thing I'm worried about. Which is weird, because I normally do really poorly with gore, but with Resident Evil, I'm weirdly okay with it. So yeah, it'd be 2 remake, specifically Claire, and maybe Leon if I feel like it, but I also am rusty on Leon's playthrough compared to Claire's. I like how he just looks super tired, because like my model's eyes are trying to close. I think it's like conflicting with my glasses, if I had to bet. I've thought about giving my model glasses, but I almost don't know if it'll fit the aesthetic of the model if I have glasses. Something I've thought about. In general, I've thought a lot about my model and what I want to do with it in the future, like if I want to, you know, iterate on it. Like, this is a good baseline design for now, but I've definitely thought about changing it up a little bit in the future. Let me check Twitch for a moment. I have an idea for a raid, but we need a raid. We don't need a raid message, but this is definitely a case where we can just like do a raid message, because we had some very good moments. I mean, there's obviously like, it's not a long ass raid message though. Alright, what about this for a raid message? Is that too long? That might be too long. But it's also a very specific reference. But I kind of want to go for that, just because it's very silly, and like, when else are we going to have an opportunity to raid with that? Introverted, but willing to discuss me? I don't know if I have the font still, because I switched PCs. Like, I rebuilt my PC. I don't know if I re-downloaded that font specifically. I mean, why would I wear a shirt saying that I'm introverted and willing to discuss myself? So yeah, you can follow me on social media if you want to see me retweet a lot of, well, let's be real, a lot of fan art at the moment, but not also, like, not really posting about myself usually very often. Introverted, yeah, it needs to be introverted. So yeah, I don't know if this is a good raid message or if it's, like, too long. But let's go, if no one objects, I suppose, it's fine. But also I need to remember how any of this works, it's been a hot minute. Why do people always say hot minute when, like, is there such a thing as a cold minute? Now I'm just, this feels like a setup for a why is it called an oven? Like, it just feels like a setup for that bit now. Like, I've just been rambling this entire time, because I'm just like... Like, no, I'm so used to streaming like 3 hours at this point, but I don't think my voice will be able to take it too much longer if I actually, like, keep going. So I need to actually stop and, you know, rest, because I've been definitely stressed this weekend for a ton of reasons I don't want to talk about. But yeah, let's rate Icy. They are finally back to streaming after being sick for a bit. So let's give Icy a raid. And yeah, I guess we'll go with the long-ass raid message I came up with earlier. It's lovely meeting you. Yeah, it's nice to see you too. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for the follow. I hope you enjoyed your time here, and hope everyone had a good time. Thank you all for watching. Again, next stream is Monday. I have no clue what. We'll decide then. And then Wednesday, for sure, next week. Probably at least react to the Dizzy trailer, regardless of if we actually play Guilty Gear. Though, I also kind of want to play Strive to do, like, a test stream. So maybe we'll do that next, like, Thursday. Like, Thursday after this week. Yeah, I also need to announce some things farther in advance so I can actually get, like, friends on board. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good rest of your evening and a good weekend. And yeah, take care, everyone. And thank you all once more for all the support. It does mean a lot to me.